Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lrtn Live. Today we have an exclusive interview with Miss AJAVON. She's running for Clerk of Peace in Delaware County, Newcastle, Delaware County. So please come and support her. Now we're bringing it on. Miss AJAVON, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure having you. It's such a great honor to have somebody from our community who's actually running for office. We would love to support you. So please tell us more about the position you're running for, Clerk of the Peace. What exactly would you be doing if you?
Well, absolutely, absolutely. The clerk of the peace in Delaware is basically the position is to oversee all ceremonies in the state of Delaware, but I'm running in the Newcastle County area. So I will be able to oversee all of the ceremonies in Newcastle County. I will issue marriage licenses, name change, ordaining ministers and pastors who are going to do marriages outside of the facility. Anyone who really want to be ordained can go through my office, and we will do that. We also oversee many of the justices, the justice of the peace facilities and requirements in the county. So it's an office that basically control the peace in the land. That's what it is. That's a fancy title called clerk of the peace, but we control the peace in the land. So that's what it was originally set out to be, and this is what I'm going to be that I'm running for. And I am the first person of color to run for this seat. And when I win on September 15th, I will be the first person of color to hold that seat. And I'm a Liberian, so it's double history we're making. So,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, can you please tell us how you got to this point? How did you become, just an average Liberian citizen running for Clerk of Peace in Delaware?
Oh, wow. I've always been involved in community service, community activism. I've been doing this for more than 30 years. And the thing is, 2 years ago, well, actually 2016, a friend of mine was running for office, and he's like, why don't you run for something? I'm like, nobody's going to vote for me. My name is not, I don't have the Gene Smith name. My name is Ajoavi. So, and that's not an easy name to remember or a name that's easy on the tongue. So I said, nobody's going to know me. Nobody's going to vote for me. And he's like, you do so much in the community. Try it. So 2016, I didn't. 2018, I did. I ran for a small seat, which is my district seat, District 5, and I ran. And let me tell you something. That was the most exciting time because, one, people got to know me. Two, I understood the processes of running for an office. And three, I came in second. So there was four people in the ballot, four people that was running for the seat. One person dropped, but then it became three people. I was an unknown. Two people were pretty much known in the community, but I came in second, which I was really pleased about. I mean, I thought we won, to be honest with you, because I'm an immigrant. I'm not from this country, and you don't usually see immigrants running for office in a state where no immigrant has ever ran for political seat. And then two, I was doing this just to get my name out there, and I did it, and I think I made a big difference. So fast forward, we have been talking about me running for a larger seat because of the communities that I've worked in, which encompasses the entire Newcastle County. So this year, we started last year. This year, we decided to run a countywide race, because there's more people in the county than in the district. So, I mean, countywide, there's over 600,000 people in Newcastle County, which is 60%, holds 60% of the population for the state of Delaware. So, I'm giving you numbers just so you know how big it is.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the reasons how I got into the race, running for county race. But I haven't regretted it. I love it. I love meeting people. I like telling my story because people, when they hear me speak, they say, "Oh, where are you from?" And I love. First thing I say, I'm a Liberian. I was born in Liberia. My family's from Liberia, and they're like, "Wow," And I'm an immigrant. I made it through. So So people like to hear story, you know, and we have an interesting story with our country. So yes.
Now, so you talked about a lot of the community outreaches that you've done and different groups you're a part of. Can you speak more about that? And so
Sure.
people get to know more about you.
Okay, well, I'm a founder of a nonprofit. It's a fatherhood initiative. It's called Every Man Counts, Better Dads, Better Lives. We're in Delaware. Our house, our headquarters in Delaware, but we have chapters in Chester, Southern New Jersey, which is Salem, and Baltimore. And that nonprofit basically focuses on fathers coming out of prison, single fathers coming out of prison, helping them navigate the court system, making sure that they understand their rights and responsibility when they go to court, understand their child support, understand custody and all that stuff. And we also help them get, become sustainable in their income, housing, finding jobs, if they're unable to find jobs, entrepreneurial opportunities, and trade. So those are things that we've been doing for the past 7 years. A lot of people think that is a man that started that organization, but I did. I don't like to take credit much for it because I think it's for the people, not for me, and it's still growing. I mean, for us to have chapters in different states, it speaks volume for what we've done. We've helped reduce the recidivism rate, which is the reincarceration rate of Delaware, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, in that area that I'm speaking of, because now fathers, when they come out of prison, they have something to look forward to instead of reincarcerate. So now they're looking forward to spending more time with their kids. They're looking forward, some of them have already gained full custody of their children, where the children are living with them 100% of the time compared to what before, so we give them hope. And when you give someone hope, you give them a second chance, they're not going to think about going back to jail. There are other things that I do. I'm also a court certified mediator and a negotiator and an arbitrator. So I volunteer for the Center for Justice, where I do a lot of court of common plea mediation. I am on the Pennsylvania Mediation Board. I'm also part of New Jersey Association of Professional Mediators. So I do a lot of things, I do a lot of things within the 3 states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And now we're branching out into Maryland.
Wow. You seem like a busy woman. How do you have time to run for election?
The thing about it, you have to make time. Time, there's 24 hours in a day. And I'm not busy 24 hours in a day. It may sound like I am, but I'm not. I have great people that I've put in place that work with me. So I'm not busy 100%. But the thing is, when you run for political office, all the stuff that I do is great and wonderful. But I want to expand that to a greater and broad margin, So instead of just focusing on one particular area, I now can focus on a broader margin because now I have other people I can tap into as a legislator, so we have to look at that. So when people run for office, I know when I'm in this case, me running for office, I will be able to help other organizations now that I can pull people in and see how we can build resources and bring resources. Like, for instance, Pennsylvania, Chester is one of my top hot market. I'm always in Chester. I'm always in Delaware County. So I'm in Chester County and Delaware County. And there's pockets of those areas that need resources. Okay. So by me being in the position that I'm running for, I could know a legislator in Pennsylvania that hasn't really visited those areas where I can draw that attention to and say, look, I'm in this area. I've been working in this area for many years. Can we talk? And people fail to realize when you're in a certain position, you tend to attract people that's in that position around the country. So you can still use your resources. And those are some of the reasons why I'm running. So I can make sure that those areas are touched, that they're not continually overlooked. So.
That's awesome. Now I want to talk about the the struggles that you might be facing running for election. What are those obstacles you're going to have to get over if you're
struggle
when you win?
I would say the real Liberian way. The struggle, the struggle is real.
Yeah.
When you're running for political office, especially in the States, you just have to keep your fingers crossed, dot your I's and cross your T's, that nobody gets into your personal business. And if like I know, we Liberians were very private. We want nobody in our business. But the thing is, in America, once you say I'm running for office, you are a public book. Everything is opened.
Yeah.
So you have to be very mindful when you're running for office that all your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. Recently, my opponent has been sending negative correspondence about me throughout the district. I was disheartened at first, but then when you really look at what they're saying is they're basically telling people, okay, she's done this, she's done that, but it's not nothing to discredit my experience or my ability to run the office. It's basically talking about my personal life, my personal finances, my personal, so my personal life, my personal finances doesn't have to do with the ability, doesn't have anything to do with the ability of me running an office effectively. I've done it many years. I've owned my own company. I've worked in various government entities, state entities, at state levels where I have been, classified as a supervisor on a supervisory level. I'm a professor. I teach at 3 universities. So, it didn't take away from that. But at first, when you see it, you're like, oh my God, people are going to really believe this. And it was all, it's all lies. But you can't really go back at them because your whole goal is to serve the community, not to attack them on what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one thing you have to be careful for when you're running for office. Make sure your background is pretty much clean. I mean, nobody's perfect. Everybody has issues and people will go through struggles because this is America. You know it. I will keep it real. America is not easy, but we have to, that's one of the struggles I have. And the second struggle that I face is reaching people, especially people in our community. And I speak that all the time because I've spoken to other librarians who have ran in other states that has the same issues with galvanizing our librarians to support us. I don't understand why they don't support us. I really don't. I can't. I've speculated why they don't, but then I come out with a reason like that doesn't make sense. You live in the United States, you pay taxes in the United States, your children go to school in the United States, you work in the United States, you drive, all those things. Your local elective officers are the ones that regulate those things before it gets to the state or the federal level. So why is it that we don't support our own? And I don't see that many times with other nationalities because I'm not in those nationalities as much. But it hurts my heart to think that you have strong Liberian candidates. Now, if I didn't want to be associated as a Liberian, I would have never said I was Liberian.
Yeah.
But that's something that you cannot take away from me. I may not have my Liberian accent 24/7, okay? But I'm a Liberian true and true. I'm telling you. So people need to understand that we have to support our own. Give us a chance to prove to you that we can do this. And if we prove otherwise, then you have a reason to say, look, I'm not going to support that person anymore. But please, I'm begging your Liberian people, support us. There's other Liberians running in other states that need your support as well. And I'm talking mainly now for the Delaware and the Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania, and the New Jersey Liberians. And you might know someone in Delaware. Please get them to support your Liberian sister. Okay, because without your support, I don't know how I'm going to do on September 15th. I need your support.
Now,
But
besides,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
so besides going out on September 15th and voting for you, how else can we Liberians support you? Because hey, right now you sound like a very strong candidate. This type of person I've been looking forward to, like meeting and talking to. I would love to see a Liberian person of your caliber, representing us. So how can we support you some more here?
There's so many ways to support. One, donation.
LRTN definitely supports. I'll let you know that.
Yes. Donation. $5, $1. I'm telling you, if you get 20 people to donate $1, that's $20. That $20 get paid for one card or two cards. You have to understand, I said the number before, 600,000 people in Newcastle County. I don't have to reach all 600,000 people, but I have to reach the strong voters. And the strong voters, meaning the people that come out and vote in the primary. That's one thing we don't do is vote in the primary. And if you live in Delaware, and I'm speaking like a true Liberian now, if you live in Delaware, Newcastle County, The primary is the most important election in Delaware, not the one in November. The one in September is the most important election. When I win that election in September, then I will be on the ballot with the other Democrats, with Senator Coons or Biden. If Senator Coons win his primary in September, we all will be on the same ticket in November. But September is the most important. Donation. We need money. We need people to make phone calls. If you can't make phone calls, text. We have text banking where you can send text out. We need to come out on the 15th and vote, and we also need to work the polls to let people know that I'm running. You wear the T-shirt, we get you a card, we'll feed you for lunch, we'll feed you for dinner. We'll have potato, greens, and rice probably in the evening. But yeah.
So I wanted to switch it back over to your community outreach more. I just want to know, you mentioned so much that you do and like you're involved in. How can we find those programs? How can we get in contact with your different companies and different nonprofits and stuff like that? How can we get in contact with you?
Well, there is our website. You can go on Every Man Counts website, and I don't quote me, but it's very long, and I will say it. I will say it once or twice. It is emcblb.wixsite.com/Every Man Counts. That's long, huh? But you can put it in. Or they can call us 302-408-0065, and someone will be more than happy to direct you. I have the best executive director. She's a librarian as well, my sister. She's been running it since I stepped down to run this race. She's been running it. We do a lot in the community. We do mass giveaway, feeding people. We fed, till this day, we fed over 5,000 families throughout Newcastle County. We've given out almost 2,000, 3,000 masks throughout Newcastle County. So, we have to continue to grow. And there's other organizations that I'm involved in. I may not run those organizations, but I'm involved in it. I am on the board for the YMCA, Bear Glasgow YMCA in Delaware, Newcastle County. I am a former board member of Delaware Women Business Center, which encourages people to do business plan and build business revenue and how to start up a new business. I also, like I told you, I own a consulting practice here in Delaware where we build people businesses, we grow their business, and we help them register their business in Delaware. So that's something that we do too. So there's a lot of things that you can do. And the number I just called, the 302-408-0065, that number, if you call that number, that will take you to where you need to go, because they can direct you to either AJAVON Consulting Group or DA or EMC Every Man Count Group.
All right, I want to take it back home real quick. I have a couple questions.
Take it home.
So, Liberia, I know you're running for office here, but Liberia is like going through a lot of struggles back home right now. I know you heard about the rape situation that's going on. Our leaders are taking money out of their people's pockets and stuff like that. Basically there's no accountability for anybody back home right now. I want to hear your opinion on the current state of Liberia.
Great. That's a great question. The thing is, I go to Liberia every year. Because of COVID, I didn't go this year. And hopefully after the election, if I'm blessed to win, then I can take a vacation and go home. It hurts my heart to see what's going on in Liberia regarding the rape situation. The problem is that rape situation been around for years. I mean, even when I was a little girl in Liberia, it was something that people did to, I guess, as sacrifices to get upper positions. And maybe the Americans who's watching may not understand what I'm saying, but the Liberians understand what I'm saying. It's sad. It's sad that we are not doing more about this situation, and we're sending people to South Beach. We're not giving them, it's no justice. You understand what I'm saying? And if we, and I look at Liberia democracy and I look at Liberia laws, if we're governing ourselves like the United States, as most people say we are, then we're not following that to the T. I don't think people who are raping children should be pacified and put in prison until they get an arraignment, until they're released. And when they're released, then they get to come back to the United States to seek refuge. I don't think that's fair. That's a slap in our face, in the mother's face. That's a slap in our democracy's face. That's just not proper governance. And that's something that we really need to look into. We really, really need to look into. In 2014, I went to Liberia and I had a conference at CWA on domestic violence, because I do a lot of talks in Ghana, Togo, Liberia, and Benin. And those are the 4 countries that I've focused on because of the rape issues, the domestic violence, and so forth, and child trafficking. And in 2014, I had a conference at CWA. It was packed. It was a lot of people that was there. And some of the things that we talked about was rape. And we had a police chief there at the time. And he, we asked questions like, if someone bring a report to you, how would you handle it? He said, we will take the report. But many times the people that were in the audience were saying, you'll take the report, but the report there's no follow through on it. Nobody follows through on it, and that's not good. That's not speaking positive for our police officers or speaking positive for the people that are in charge. We have to change that type of rhetoric about Liberia. We need to change the narrative, because let me tell you something, the international world is watching. And if we keep doing stuff like this, it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good. And we really need to come together and change what this narrative is all about. This rape issue that I've been watching, I have a cousin that's back home. She's very active in it, promoting awareness, and I'm very proud of her. And I think, I guess they had a march a couple of days ago, and and she was part of that march, and and I stand in solidarity with them, but we really need to make a difference. We really, really need to make a difference. So.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we'll come back, we'll have some more questions from Ms. AJAVON. Stay right with us, please, guys. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. We're live with Ms. AJAVON. She's running for Clerk of the Peace in Delaware County. So now I kind of wanted to open up the floor to you, Ms. AJAVON. I wanted you to speak on anything you wanted to speak on directly to the Liberian people. Any message you want to give to them, anything you want them to hear, do you think they need to hear? Floor is yours.
Okay. Well, just one correction. It is not Delaware County. It's Newcastle County in Delaware. Yes. Newcastle County in Delaware. I know everybody gets confused because Delaware County is right outside of Newcastle County. So it's Newcastle County in Delaware. And one thing about I want to give to the Liberian people is that we shouldn't give up on ourselves. We should not give up on our country, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't care about our country, man. It will just ruin itself. Well, we got to understand, every country has its problems. And every country has its issues and every country has its problems, right? Just like what we're going in the United States. Do we give up on the democracy here? No, we have not. Even though we may not agree with the president that we have now here, the same way we may not agree with the president there. But I mean, I'm not endorsing anybody. But the fact of the matter is, we still need to give people a chance. We have to understand the thing about democracy and good governance is that I'll use America as an example. We have someone in office that we don't like. The majority of the people are really upset of the way he's been governing the country. However, people are not just talking and sitting back and waiting for him to leave office. We're doing things within the communities, the various states. We're moving people around. We're putting people in place, like myself, in office that will change the paradigm or to change the narrative of that state. So we make sure we send the right people to Washington to work on our behalf. This is something that we need to practice in our country. One thing I want to say is that, and I think I said I go to Liberia every year. But one thing I want to say is that we need to start governing and start teaching our youth in Liberia proper governance so that they can be prepared to run for office when they're old enough. You know, because we can't just say, okay, we're going to pick somebody who's already in their 30s and say, okay, have you ever had an experience? No, they don't. Nobody has experience to run for office, but you must show that you've had that community engagement prior to running for office in order for you to understand how to communicate effectively with your constituents. And that's something we don't have in Liberia. And I still keep in contact with families. I still go home. I have properties. I have a business there. So we still keep in contact with them. But I feel and I believe that if we can start with our younger children, age 10 and up, and start building and grooming them and teaching them policies, practices, and procedures, I believe, this is my belief, I'm not imposing on anybody, I believe we can groom great politicians that will one day run Liberia the way it needs to be run. Okay? So I can't say anything about anybody. All I can say is instead of us complaining, let's start doing stuff. And there's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are doing great things for Liberia. A lot of people are doing great things for Liberia who are on the ground and who are also in the United States or in Europe. But I think it starts with us at home. We have to build ourselves up, and we need to do it soon.
So now bringing it back home, what can LRTN here, our platform, how can we help you some more? How can we, how can you use our platform to, get your message out?
Well, I mean, I hope this relationship doesn't stop after it doesn't stop after the campaign. I would like to continue this relationship with you all to promote other agencies throughout the counties, the various, as they call us, the tri-state, and encourage more Liberians to be more involved in the community. I look at Pennsylvania, for instance, Philadelphia. How many Liberians do we have in office? How many Liberians do we have in legislative hall? How many Liberians do we have in local government? Those are things that we need to look at because we dominate. We dominate Pennsylvania. So why aren't we pushing for local offices like they are in Minnesota, like they are in Colorado, in Montana, those areas, and what we're doing here and in DC? Why can't we push for that in states where we're most of the majority than the minority? You understand what I'm saying? So if I can help and we can use your platform to help those people in different states understand, especially in Pennsylvania, understand the importance of them being involved in their community, especially in the Liberian community, it's going to be great. I think your platform is a great platform to use to employ other ideas and encourage other ideas.
We would love to have you back on our show. I mean, you said that the election is September 15th. We would love to have you back on at least 1-2 more times before, the elections comes in, even afterwards. We'd love to have you back on. You are a jewel to have on this show. So please, everyone, please go out and vote for Ms. AJAVON. She's running for Newcastle County Clerk of the Peace. Not Delaware County, Newcastle County now. All right.
Yo, Delaware. You don't think it's Delaware County? It was Delaware, Newcastle County. Okay. Please.
So please, everyone, you got to support our sister here. She is doing great things for everyone, not just our community, but for the country as a whole. So go out, vote for her, support her. Go on AJAVON website. That's AJAVON.com. You'll find all the information you'll need there. Please go out and support us, okay?
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you
the
so
viewers.
much.
Yes. I appreciate all the viewers, all the comments. I was looking at it. Thank you guys so much for chiming in and commenting. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Bye-bye.